Epoxy resin fail. This is Mr. V, and you are watching my first time trying to do something creative with some old tables that I had from a home I remodeled over a year ago. I've got two unique end tables, I guess you can say. Probably served as tables for lamps or something of that nature back in the day, next to a love seat or a couch. Anyhow, I found these. They were a dark walnut brown color, and they actually were in better condition when I found them. They've been in my backyard for a little bit, but I did not want to dispose of them, so I wanted to try something creative. So, you know, like we all do, we watch YouTube and we watch these wonderful videos of these guys who are doing miraculous things with epoxy resin and hardener and you know, the different colorations and different unique things that you can do. So I decided to do that with these tables. So here you see me mixing both the part 1 and part 2 together. And just to share with you, the epoxy resin I got here, I got off of eBay, and a company out of North Carolina. Really wasn't that bad. It was 32 ounces for each part 1 and for part 2, so a total of 64 ounces. And I'm quite sure I didn't pay any more than 30-40 bucks for this. So anyway, instructions tell you you got 15 to 30 minutes to work with this stuff, but as you'll see here, I made quite a few mistakes. First of which, you know, if you live in the Midwest, you know we get those Charlie Brown clouds. You're going to see here after a while, I'm going to have to book out and go to my front porch and finish the job. But during this part, I'm mixing my base. So my base is going to go on both levels that you see here. Each table has, you know, one part looks like a 2.5 foot level, and the top part looks like it has a 1 part level. So I am mixing here a total of 32 ounces, and I was reading the instructions, and it wants you to pour this stuff a 1/4 inch thick. So here you see me mixing, and the one thing I will tell you, first part of this fail is not paying attention to time, because what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to mix this base first. Then you'll see here in a few minutes me mixing my colors. I'm only going to be using black and this real pretty sparkling blue, almost similar to this tarp that you see on my ground here. Now don't ask me why I got a tarp on the ground when my grass is dead and there's nothing but dirt back there anyway, but I just kind of wanted to be careful. I do have on gloves. I do not have on a mask. It's probably something I'll do the next time. I probably will just wear like a regular, you know, mask that they, you know, we've been wearing for the past 1.5 years around America. So probably would do that the next time, but I didn't really fool with the coloration too much. You see me sweating here. I was in my backyard. Mosquitoes were having a great time with me. I only mixed 2 colors, and so I got some small packets of the resin colors. I had to order a 10-pack along with this epoxy off of eBay. It was pretty straightforward. It came from the same company. I did find out that you can go to Joann's Fabric, and who else has Joann Fabric? Maybe Hobby Lobby. They also sell the different powder colorations that you can use for these epoxy resins. So I'm mixing here. I think I'm doing a light silver. Keep in mind, time is passing. We'll get to that a little later. So I'm getting up here. I think I felt a raindrop or two. Wasn't that bad, but it tells you to mix this stuff for about 4 to 6 minutes each one. But we'll get to that in a minute. So here you'll see me come back. I think I'm mixing the black here in a second, but just to let you know, as I was mixing that, you guys can tell from the video how much time has already passed. I think even when the video started, I'd already been mixing my base for the 4 different layers that you see here, 2 layers for each table. So anyhow, that's going against my clock with my base. Keep that in mind for what we're going to see here in a few minutes. So as I said, I thought I felt a couple raindrops. So I started thinking, what the heck I'm gonna do now? Okay, I got the blue resin right here, so I'm mixing up my blue. Really not going to use a lot of that. Don't know why I started with that, but I also have some blacks I'm going to mix up here in a hot second. But once again, my base time is working against me. My base, remember, 10 to 30 minutes. And now I'm mixing up my other colors, and my base is just sitting there, and it is hardening right now. So that's mistake number one that I will tell you. Other than me not really paying attention to how much I was going to need of that base. Putting a heavier set of gloves on, and I'm ready to start my base coat. Here we go. It took me another 5 minutes to move everything to the front porch, grab everything because of the sprinkles, and about to start pouring my base coat. And so here I went and got some thicker gloves. Mistake number two. The epoxy is getting hot. It is warm. I thought it was going to melt through these plastic containers that I'm using. Little Domino sugar containers that I keep around the house, just in case I need them for something like this. For epoxy, I will tell you, you might want a thicker grade of plastic if you're going to use a plastic container like this. It's getting warm, so 15 minutes has already passed. Remember, it tells you you got 15 to 30 minutes to work with this stuff. And you see I was about to pour the top base there, and I was like, nah, I don't think I should do that. You'll see here, I'm trying to do both the original. I'm trying to do both first layers of the tables first. And I'm thinking I can maneuver this epoxy around with this table like this, and it kind of worked for a little bit. Is a pretty good idea. And I tried to screed it around using a little piece of cardboard I found because I didn't have any more shims. I didn't know what I did with them. I'd used the shims to mix the stuff to begin with. So I'm just trying to spread the epoxy around on the first level layer of the table. Right now, as you can, I'm going to let you know, you cannot see, but this stuff is hardening on me right now. And I haven't even done the right side of this table yet. Ironically, the table to the right, as you can see, the epoxy is set, and I haven't even started moving that around. You'll see me here pour a little bit more out for that. Just try to get started, at least on the front half of that second table. I should have poured the entire thing on this first table. So I'm spreading this, I'm spreading. It's working well so far with me right here. It's being cooperative. Keep in mind, I started mixing this stuff maybe 20 minutes ago. So technically I got 10 minutes to go. But the one thing I will tell you that I alluded to earlier, I would tell you that as soon as you start mixing both part one and part two, your time is ticking from that 15 to 30 minutes. So I had already mixed it, and then it took me another 10 minutes to actually pour it on these tables. So therefore I got 10 minutes left. But the trick is I only mixed 32 ounces and not the full 64, which the instructions are based off of. So now you see me on the second table, and the epoxy is tough, and it's not being cooperative. Then I'm going to try to go back and see if I can have a little bit more to pour. And I think here I'm trying to find something better to screed it. A piece of cardboard, like I said, the epoxy is hardening, and so this is the point where I realize once you're mixing half of both parts A and part B, hey man, you gotta go. I mean, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. So you see me here, I'm looking a little confused. I'm looking like, man, what the hell? So, you know, what else I got in here that I can pour out? And the stuff that I think I'm about to pour here was like pulling chewing gum off of a shoe. And as you see me pouring what's left from the container on this side, that stuff set immediately, and I was not able to screed it as finely and as evenly as I wanted it to be. Now, my only saving grace was this epoxy stuff is not a self-leveler, but it does level out on its own, so to speak. When you let it set, it'll find somewhere to go. So even though you can see how tough I'm trying to screed here, it's just really effed up at this point. As you can see, my little screed stick is stuck to my hands. I think you can kind of see me shaking my head a little bit. So I'm trying to hurry up. I'm trying to put my black design in the mix up top of my gray and silver. And in the meantime, ironically, the black epoxy, even though I mixed less of it, it stayed liquid. The base silver and gray got hot, and you're going to see me here grab this blue container, and it was MFing hot. I mean, it was actually smoking. You'll see here in a while. I have to mix another base coat to finish the top, the second levels of these tables. So you see me with the blue here, it's smoking literally. And so I'm looking at it and I'm trying to find whatever part in there that is still liquid that I could pull out. You see I'm getting a little flustered here. I know that time is working against me with this first coat that I have, but I mean, this process right here was bananas, man. So anyhow, let me stop talking so much, and we're going to get to the third part of this video. So you guys are going to see here, I'm going to speed this up a little bit so I don't bore you. I'm doing my second base coat so I can pour the rest of the back ends of the first level and the top level. And I'm also trying to hurry up and mix some of the colors as well. But this here's my base coat, so I'm doing silver and gray powder resin, and trying to get busy. I'm telling you, working fast, making sure you got your setup in front of you while you're doing your base color is going to be absolutely important to this. You don't want to waste 15-20 minutes like I did before you start pouring. So this right here is going to be absolutely easy, man. And it looks so much freaking better. I mean, if you could see, you'll see here in a hot second the top levels when I'm finished. They were perfect. The bottom level to the table to the left, like I said, because the last part I poured was real hard, it looks a little lumpy. You can see me doing the second level of the second table, then you'll start to see me do. It was so much easy to spread right here. But so that table to the right came out really good. The one to the left has got some lumps, but I can fix that with some lacquer or maybe some more epoxy just to level out a little bit. But bear with me and let's see the end results. You guys tell me what you think. Was it an epic fail, or did I do okay for my first time? Peace, love, and blessings, family.